Hey, what's poppin', everybody? Almost put it together. Man, that's super frustrating. How yesterday played out. As you can see, the slip right here. Missed yesterday's slip by half a pitch. Absolutely brutal, man. The lock of the day, Lance Lynn, throws 97 pitches, and his line was 96.5. It's super frustrating because through 5 innings, he had allowed 6 runs and had 9 hits, and was already at like 84 pitches. There was zero reason to bring him out for one more inning. And they do. They bring him back out, and then he goes 1 pitch over. So, I mean, that's, again, when you miss by 1, you can't be mad because, I mean, you got it right. I mean, he wasn't going to do what you thought he wasn't going to do, and he just goes over by 1. So, at the end of the day, that's a big bummer. Nothing we could really do about that. Lance McMullers, it's McMullers, not McMullins. I called him Mullins yesterday. He did his thing in Tampa as I expected, had a massive game, a bunch of strikeouts. And then Daniel Lynch didn't have a lot of strikeouts as I was hoping would happen. He went well under his 5 strikeouts. So the other guys did exactly what they were supposed to do. Lance Lynn just missed it by a pitch. Not a whole lot we could be we could be mad. We could definitely be mad about it because he shouldn't have thrown another inning, but missed it by just 1. So that's a bummer. Today we've got some Thursday night football, so let's get into it, my man. Real quick, if you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, in the link down in the description below, I have a link that takes you straight to the App Store where you can download Underdog Fantasy because you're going to want to hop in on the action this year. They have added a whole bunch of new features to Underdog Fantasy this year, starting with the brand new insurance feature, okay? This insurance feature is a new thing that has been super requested for the fans and the customers of Underdog Fantasy. Essentially, all you do is you click insurance right here. And if you can see right there, all you have to do is hit 4 of these picks to win, but the value does drop down. So if you turn off the insurance, you do a $10 bet, you obviously get $200. And if you turn on the insurance feature, it drops down a multiplier down to 10. But if you miss one of these picks, say, Jameis Winston gets hurt or something, he doesn't end up throwing 2 touchdown passes. But everybody else hits like Lamar, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and Justin Jefferson. All these guys hit. You still hit the slip. You just get it for $100. Just goes down a multiplier, which is a huge feature a lot of people have been asking for, so they received it. Also, they have added second half lines now to games. Obviously, it is on. There is nothing up because there's no NFL second half games, but they have added NFL second half. So just like for the Thursday night game, I'll throw up that clip right here. Thursday night, they dropped all the second half lines for that Thursday night game between the Bills and the Rams. They've added a bunch of new features this year. They're trying to improve to get the app better for you guys. Also, when you sign up, if you use code TAKEMYSHOT, you'll get $100 match, up to $100 match and 100% deposit match on your first time deposit. So if you do that, you can deposit $50, you get an extra $50, $20, you get an extra $20. Whole lot of stuff coming with Underdog Fantasy this year. Make sure you sign up with code TAKEMYSHOT. Now let's get to today's bets. All right, coming in hot with today's lock of the day, boys. Let's get it. Let's hit a primetime slip. Let's get it on this Thursday night football lineup here. Let's go for our lock of the day today. It's going to be coming from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me Najee Harris today. Under 56.5 yards rushing. You heard me under, baby. I know he is averaging 131 yards versus the Browns in the 2 times he's played them. He had like 190 yards rushing and then like 90 yards rushing. He's gone absolutely off every time he's played the Browns. But boys, I have some numbers for you. The Browns right now are sitting as the 4th best rushing defense in the league. They're sitting at the 4th best against the rush this year. Starting running backs in weeks 1 and weeks 2 versus the Browns defense had 23 yards and 33 yards. That was Christian McCaffrey and Michael Carter for the Jets. Both of them well under 56 yards rushing. And the Steelers offense, if I'm being quite honest, is really struggling very bad right now. They're the 7th worst rushing attack in the league, so they really have been struggling to run the football with that really bad offensive line. They've got the 3rd worst pass offense in the league. Again, Mitch Trubisky is not turning out to be as I thought. I was a guy that said Mitch Trubisky was going to have a big year. He hasn't. You have to think that they've had 3 days, essentially, to practice since their last game. And you would have to think that they're not going to fix all that in 3 days. It's going to continue to be rough for this game, and then they'll get 10 days to really work on it. So not much is going to change, when you play Sunday night and then you have to play Thursday. Not a whole lot you can game plan for in just 3 days. And the Steelers offense all around, totaling up all the yards and all that kind of jazz, sits as the 3rd worst offense in the league. Again, facing a top-tier defense in the Cleveland Browns. So I'm anticipating them to be down in this game. So they're going to be forced to pass the ball, and they won't have any early success running the ball. So give me Najee Harris today, under 56.5 yards rushing today. All right, next up, this play is a little bit iffy for me. Only because I'm going to do David Njoku over 2.5 receptions today. Austin Hooper, the original number 1, tight end 1, is on the injury report right now. He's dealing with a thumb injury and a thigh injury. He didn't practice on Tuesday, and he was limited practice yesterday. So there's a chance he's not going to play, and if he does, it's going to be limited snaps because he's dealing with 2 separate injuries. In games 1 and 2, weeks 1 and 2, Jacoby Brissett has targeted tight ends 14 times in 2 games. So clearly he likes to attack the tight ends, which is typical of Cleveland. Again, I know the AFC North very well. I've watched them my whole life. Cleveland likes to utilize their tight ends, and they do that pretty well. In week 1, the Steelers gave up a lot of targets to tight ends. In week 1, Hayden Hurst had 8 targets and 5 catches on them. Week 2, they held down the Patriots tight ends pretty well. Again, that's the Patriots offense, who's also another lackluster offense when it comes to passing the ball. So for all those reasons, I'm really liking David Njoku to at least get 3 catches in this game. When they get to the red zone, they really like to use their tight ends a lot. So once they run the ball down the field with Nick Chubb, I'm assuming David Njoku is going to get a lot of catches in the red zone and on 3rd down, 3rd and short, 4th and short, those kind of situations. So give me David Njoku over 2.5 receptions today. All right, boys. I'm going to throw a lot of numbers at you for this last play of the day. I went to Next Gen Stats and broke this one down a lot big time. So I'm going to throw a whole lot of numbers and stats at you guys. So get ready for this one. We're going to go with Chase Claypool under 39.5 yards receiving, okay? Like I said, for the reason with Najee Harris, the Steelers offense is the 3rd worst pass offense in the league. And again, there's not a whole lot they're going to be able to fix in just 3 days from Sunday to now. In the 2 weeks that Chase Claypool has played, only had 8 catches through 2 weeks, which is decent. But for an average catch distance of only 5.5 yards. So he's kind of getting a lot of catches, but he's not getting up the field. He's not down the field with any of these catches. And when you're thinking about his quarterback, Mitch Trubisky, Mitch sits at 7th worst in the league. So that means 23 other quarterbacks passed it better at aired out yards, meaning yards down the field, the amount of time that the ball, or the amount of yards that the ball travels from the line of scrimmage to a wide receiver's hands. He sits at 7th worst in the league at just 5.1 yards per pass. So for the time he releases that ball and it goes past the line of scrimmage, his average completion of a pass through the air is only 5.1 yards, meaning he does not air it out at all down the field. And it's kind of vice versa here with Chase Claypool. He's 5th worst wide receiver in the league. Hundreds of receivers have caught a pass this season. I know we're only 2 weeks into the season, but hundreds of receivers have caught a pass in the NFL so far. And Chase Claypool sits at the 5th worst in the league at yards after catch per reception. He's only averaging 1.2 yards after catch. And he's averaging only 2.3 yards of separation per his route. So he's not getting very much separation. He's not catching passes downfield, and he's not getting yards after the catch. He's actually only sitting at an average air yards rate of 5.7 yards, meaning, again, this is a lot of stats I know, but meaning when Mitch Trubisky throws him the football, he is catching it downfield only an average of 5.7 yards. Again, meaning he is not getting down the field for a whole lot of yards. He's getting catches, but he's not getting far down the field. And his longest catch on the year sits at only 11 yards. So again, not getting down the field is Chase Claypool. So I feel like 39.5 yards is a lot of yards he's going to have to get to for a guy that's just not getting anything down the field. So give me Chase Claypool under 39.5 yards receiving as our last play of the day today. One more play that I kind of like. I'm not putting it on the official slip or anything, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I do like a Mitch Trubisky pick. Again, with the lack of down the field pushing of the ball, this means that teams can run a lot more stuff at the line of scrimmage defensively in a zone type of sense, right? You don't need to man guys up when they're only going 5 yards down the field, right? You can just sit guys in a lot of zones. This means a lot of routes are going out, a lot of routes are coming back, and a lot of routes are coming across the middle, which means, you're going to put backers, you're going to put corners in just zones sitting right, at that 5 to 10 yard range, which leads to a lot of underneath picks. So I'm liking a Mitch Trubisky pick today because he just doesn't air it out down the field. So give me Mitch Trubisky for a pick as another extra play that I really like today. All right, which means it's time for the perfect 3-slip, boys. Let's get into it. The lock of the day is Najee Harris, under 56.5 yards rushing. Give me David Njoku, the old Miami dude, under or over 2.5 receptions. And give me Chase Claypool, under 39.5 receptions as our last play of the day today. All right, boys, with that being said, that's going to wrap up today's video. If you guys do like a team play in this one, I do like the under in this team, in this game. Both offenses aren't super explosive. The Browns offense is a lot better than the Steelers offense, but the Browns will run the ball a lot, which means they burn clock a lot. They take up a lot of time in their drives. And then the Steelers lack explosiveness. They have no big plays down the field. They have no big yardage runs. I mean, it's bad. Both teams don't really score the ball a whole lot, so I'm really liking the under in this one. I think last I checked, it sits all the way down at 38. So the books really don't think this one's going to be super high explosive either. So give me the under in that game. It's a team prop that I really like in this one, but I'm really liking this one, guys. I really broke down the stats and went into some next-gen stuff and really was looking at how players are really looking to start the season. I know it's only 2 weeks worth of data, but at the end of the day, numbers still most of the time numbers don't lie. So with that being said, guys, I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.